Some of you have been here a while now and might know that I'm a pretty lazy man. But how on earth can you have a healthy diet that's also easy and convenient? Well, if you live in the US, it is your lucky day because I've got the perfect solution for you. Factor offers you the chance to get fresh, ready-made meals delivered directly to your doorstep. They're never frozen, they're full of high quality ingredients and packed with nutritional value too. It even offers meals for those following different lifestyles and diets. So what are you waiting for? Go and click that lovely link at the top of the description now. You'll get plenty of money off your first order with Factor and some off the few after too. You'd be a fool to miss out on an opportunity like that. Well, today, for the second time this season, we'll be trying to win our first trophy of the year against Larne in the Antrim Shield final. But arguably, the other game is bigger. We're yet to bring in any players in January, the fixture list is becoming ridiculous, and we face Linfield, the current leaders, and they've got a chance to get themselves in charge at a title race. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 98 of Lifting Spirits with me, Daniel. We are back today, now 7 games behind in the Irish Premiership schedule, as we face Larne in the Shield final, Linfield in a massive Premiership game. And if they win it, you could argue they're in control of the title race. We're yet to be able to bring anyone in January, and we have lost one player already. We're becoming victims of our own success, and we're starting to suffer in the same way that Linfield and Larne did in previous years. And now we're seeing just how big an achievement it was for Linfield to keep winning a title. So let's go and have a look at the schedule and see what on earth has been going on. Because we have had a little bit of fortune on the transfer front. A couple of little injuries have been frustrating, but home attendance is creeping up a little bit. And overall, really good form. So since you were last with me, we have continued to remain unbeaten. We won 2-1 against Ballymena over the festive period. Maurice Simpson with a brace either side of an equaliser. A 6-1 win at Dungannon with the backup team. Farmer, Robinson, and then 2 for Lafferty and Mucklehatton. And then away at Cliftonville, a 2-1 win. Substitute youngster David Aitken with a late winner. Neil Daly had scored an early penalty there. A 2-0 win at Ballina Millard with Daly and Maurice Simpson. A 1-0 win away at Warren Point, and it was a massive one in a title race. At Warren Point, we got a 92nd minute winner, and Brian Varma, maybe just a little bit offside, but I'm not going to complain. It counts, and it's the moment that I feel a top 2 place may be assured. So, very confident after that one, backed up by a 4-2 win at home to Coleraine. Bit worried at our performance from 3-0, but thankfully, Robert Burns, our former player, got sent off, and it allowed Dermot Lafferty to get a late 4th. 2 for Simpson in that one, and 1 for Lennon as well. And then against Ballymacash Rangers, the rivals in the cup, we relied on a pretty late goal again. It was Tom Robinson opening the scoring early in the second half, and Jonathan Mucklehatton with a late winner. But the one thing we've probably got to bear in mind here, which I guess you haven't thought about a huge amount this year because of the fact we've played a lot of league games and it looks like we're doing great. 2 draws, we've won all the rest, but we're actually yet to play Larne in a league this season and won't until the middle of February. We've only played Linfield once, so we're going to have to play Larne 4 times and Linfield 3 in our next 20 league matches. So that's over a third of our schedule. It is going to be very difficult, and those games are still going to be crucial. At the moment, we're doing all right in the rest, but the schedule is only going to get worse. We're going to try and limp our first team through these 2 games, which is the final today and the Linfield game on Friday. And then look at it. We've got a game every 2 days. We've got 4 games in a week. Ballymena 29th, Falkirk 31st, Dungannon 2nd. Do we throw the SPFL Trust Trophy? Do we trust our backup team in the league games and try and get through in the cup? I really don't know what's more financially rewarding in the long term and what's most important in the short term either. So, going to be a very difficult spell. We've got another cup final coming up in the middle of February. Europe will return in March, and that comes with all the big games as well. So how on earth do we fit it all in? I'm not quite sure. We'll deal with that as the obstacles come along, but for now, let's go and head into the game against Larne via the transfer screen. I'll show you what's happened so far this month, which is that Philip Baxter has agreed to leave the club and join Bohemians. That will happen at the end of his contract this summer. Another youngster potentially going out on loan in Ryan Miller, and another youngster that was almost poached by Cliftonville, and that would have been great money for our academy. He's nowhere near worth that. Unfortunately, he rejected them though, No signings in terms of official ins and outs, but we did of course have the one out of contract player in December. Callum Wilson chose to leave at the end of his contract. He's linked with Coleraine now. Interesting to see that most of our former players have gone to Warren Point, so I thought he might be the next, but considering he's a former player there, he hasn't yet chosen to go back. If we go and have a look at our squad though, the one little benefit is that Jaffet and Pardy agreed to stay. He's not signed a new deal, he's out of contract, but he's here on a sort of pay-as-you-play term, and we had a little injury to Puarte just as his contract finished, so it's been a real boost having him in the club. McElhatton is wanted by Glentoran, who keep trying to come in and get him. At the moment, he's not out of contract till the end of the year, so not an immediate problem. But we have got some big games to get into. Distillery versus Larne in a Shield final. We're going to go first team. We're going to try and keep everyone fit for the Linfield game. We might have to rest a bit for training, and then in the next game, we can go a lot bigger. They've got a great side. They've got two brilliant strikers. Dave Rowley, we know, is a quality player in midfield too. I mean, on paper, they're probably the best side in the division, but they just don't seem to deliver. Might be the biggest attendance we've ever had at our actual home stadium. So let's go and get this team picked. All change from the Ballymacash Cup tie. We'll be back in a minute to run through the 11 that will take part in today's Cup final. Well, here's the team we've gone for then, and I don't think there's many surprises, are there? It is Kane in goal, Williams and Reid the fullbacks, with Goss and McKenzie at centre-half. We've got Daly, Whitehall and Lennon the midfield three, Puarte and Parry the wingers, and Murray Simpson up front. Now up to 30 goals for the year, albeit he's not scoring quite as many as he was before. He's still in pretty good form though. Let's go and get into it. A big game in the Cup final. We've lost one to Derry City of the Republic of Ireland this year. Now let's go and put it right against one of our domestic rivals. They've again made a number of changes, just as they did for the Cup semi-final in the last episode. But this time, they are going strong. We know that Simmons and Marshall are brilliant players. Rowley is first choice. And you'd probably argue Gallagher at the back coming back in does the same. So let's go and tell the lads to do it for the fans. Go and win the trophy for them. Let's try and make sure we do not finish this season empty-handed, because second is a real risk in the league and we're not going to win the European trophy. So can we make it count at this stage? Let's go into the first half and find out. Just 200 short of capacity at this stadium. That is something we didn't think we'd ever see. I know it's nowhere near the rest of the league yet, but the attendance is creeping up, the reputation doing the same, and the start to the game is horrendous. O'Kane has headed one straight at Neil Kane, and he's decided to parry it straight in the back of the net. Not the start we were hoping for in this match, and the first shot on target goes in as Puarte crosses for us. McKenzie's up and hits the woodwork. Just not that same threat in the air to other players for some reason. Jones scores plenty. We've seen Goss score a few. McKenzie just can't do it. Not much in this game so far. I mean, their expected goals is pretty pathetic, but Neil Kane let it in, and that is all that matters. Our dominance is counting for nothing. But we've got a corner here which is headed away. As far as Daly on the edge of the box, cuts back to McKenzie, has scored one screamer this year, but just passes it to Reid. He finds Goss, who's making his way back to Puarte. Chips over to Parry, flicked on for Simpson. He can't get there, but Parry nicks it again. In he goes, the shot's deflected away. Keeper was beaten if he'd missed it. And Simmons brings it clear. Puarte wins it again. We're fighting hard. We're winning it high up the pitch. We just need the goal to show for it. Straight at the keeper, he was offside anyway. But we're starting to probe. We're starting to push. And now we just need the goal as Goss keeps the ball on halfway to Daly, and Whitehall has support on the right from Puarte but plays up to Simpson. Good defending from the experienced Edmonds Green. Away to O'Kane. He's got support as well, but Daly nicks it off him. Great play from the lads. They're working hard. It's just the finishing touch as Whitehall has support on the right. Puarte makes the run. Great ball in for Lennon. And it's 1-1. He's not had his best season as Rory Lennon, but he's scored a few absolutely massive goals. Just starting to find some form again now. And we tend to the break deservedly. We've got ourselves back on terms. I say deservedly. We should be ahead, but we'll take it after where we were. Well, at half-time, there is no doubt we've been the better side, but we've let in a stupid goal, and now we've got an uphill battle. We've done half the work to get back on terms, and now we cannot give up anything, and we need to get on the front foot for a second, as Kane plays out from the back to Williams here. On the left-hand side, has support from Parry. He goes into Lennon, the goal scorer, back to Parry again. Turns on halfway, back to Williams. Again, very composed in possession, and not creating too many big openings, though Daly finds Lennon. Great ball to Simpson, makes the run in behind the defender. And although my voice briefly went for a second there, Maurice Simpson has not let his finishing go down. A brilliant goal from him, his 31st of the season. And just as the second half begins, we are in front for the first time. As Puarte takes a free kick, Goss heads just over. We're starting to look like we're on top. To be fair, by that one header, Larne have not had a threat. And with 10 minutes gone in the second half, we shouldn't throw it away from here. But you've seen before, when we play late in these games, we often give up chances. We've seen Marshall, one of their stars, go off. We've got a few players playing pretty poorly. So I'm just going to make a few changes here. We've got Williams at left back replaced by Bell. Parry on the left wing for Varma. I'm also going to bring on Harley Jones for one of the tired defenders. I think it's going to be Mackenzie who struggled more. I'll swap Archie Whitehall for, I was going to say Robinson, but we'll do Griffiths and we'll drop Lennon back into centre midfield. So let's just make sure we get this over the line. We could put Puarte to right back. We could just bring on Lafferty up front. And I've got to bear in mind, we've got Thursday or Friday round the corner as well. I'm losing track of the days as Lennon goes for a shot just over. Who do we need to keep fit for Linfield the most? I'm looking at Daly probably having the poorest game of the midfield three. But then Lennon's knackered now, so he'll come off for Robinson. We have got 10 minutes to go, and we're 2-1 up. We're on for our first trophy of the year, but can we make it count? Because Larne will push forward now. The worst thing would be extra time. We've gone to time wasting, a stoppage time comes in, and we've managed to get over the line. It is the same score that we beat them by in a semi-final of the other cup. And to be fair, there's not a huge amount between this top three sides, but Larne, despite having the best team on paper, are the ones that are letting people down the most. Neil Kane made an error at the start. He has not been punished for that. Let's hope his handling's better with the trophy, as he is the skipper for the day, and he will lift in front of a full Distillery Stadium, the Antrim Shield. First trophy of the season in at the second time of asking, and now it takes a little bit of pressure off the rest of it, but the next game is certainly no less of a big deal. We face Linfield in a potential early title decider. Let's go and get to it and see how many of this 11 are fit. Well, a quick stop off for some very big news elsewhere, which is 80 grand for that final, which is a lot more than I expected. And most importantly, we have now entered the Northern Ireland Hall of Fame. We're up to 9th place, having won one of each title, the third tier, second tier and top tier. We've now won a League Cup, we've won an Irish Cup, and we've also won 2 Antrim Shields. Add that to the Steel and Sons Cup in the first season. We're starting to make a bit of a dynasty. Let's hope we can add to that this season. Well, the big games keep coming thick and fast, don't they? 3 days later, and we're back for a potential title decider here. There are 17 points between us and Linfield. They are a long way clear. With 7 games in hand, we could get 21 points. That would put us on 71. If they win today, though, they are 20 clear with 7 games more played. And we will then only be able to go 1 clear. So it does put it into perspective that this is probably a must-not-lose game for us. But at home, we've got to try and get in the ascendancy. But how fit are this team? I've given 3 of the defenders a rest from training for a day, both centre-halves and the right-back Reed. The rest I'm hoping will be alright, and it does look that way. I'm probably going to keep the same squad, and in fact I will. I don't see any reason to change it. We could have an adjustment in the midfield 3, but it played well last time out. So we're going to go for the same 11. Let's hope it's enough to get us a result. Well, similar to us, Linfield have been ringing the changes as well. They've had loads of games in the SPFL Trust Trophy where they're going through to the semi-final to potentially face us. And now we have got to have a look at their team for today because Ferrisage is in there, the big money man. Mackie, who's in my Northern Ireland international squad, as is Keith Martin. At the back, they've got Jones, who has played for the national team, and Kellyman, a very good striker. Perhaps surprised to see McGuckin on the bench, but he's not quite as good as he once was compared to the others. And the same probably applies to McAllister, but both of them have scored goals against us before, and they're sitting on the bench at the minute. So we're going to ask the lads to pick up where they left off. I'd quite like a big display today, but we've already got nerves among one of our star midfielders, which I find a little bit odd. Let's have a chat with Ben Parry. Come on, you can do more than that. He looks a bit happier now. Through the tunnel interview to the first half, we need a big performance against Linfield. For just a minute on the clock, we are playing positive at home today. We'll see if it works out. Last season it didn't, but now we've got a stronger squad. We've got good players and we're in great form. Let's see if we can make this count as Kellyman nicks it off Daly on halfway. Do not want to be giving away an early goal. We saw against Larne, makes it a lot harder to come back from. As Williams deals with the long ball forward, or has he? Plays back to Kane under pressure. Big ball over the top. Simpson up. That's the difference this year. Simpson can compete for those, but we still lose possession. Ferrisash over to Kellyman. He's in one-on-one. He's dinked Neil Kane, and with 2 minutes gone, for the second game in a row, against one of the big two, we are behind due to a poor bit of defending. This time it's the defender rather than the goalkeeper. And the first shot's in again as Reed plays across his own box to Goss. Not a big fan of that, but he gets away with it. Williams up to Parry instead. He plays short to Williams again. Finds Ben Parry on the left-hand side. Has space to run into. Cuts it inside to Lennon. Running off him is Simpson, but finds Whitehall. That's the pass for Simpson. Brilliant first touch. The shot's a little bit rash. It's over the bar. Probably didn't need to take it that early, but good to see us create something. 10 minutes gone at 1-0 Linfield. We've gifted an early lead to our visitors again. And here they come down the left-hand side. They're building confidence from this one. Simpson's managed to nick the ball off the centre half though. He's not got much support up there as Hancock tries to foul him. He does really well to hold it up. Jones comes in with a tackle, but he still finds Puarte. He'll get down the right wing with a chance to cross. Support in the middle. It's in towards Parry. Deflects onto the bar and over. And the free kick's up for offside. Not sure how Simpson was off there because the cross went backwards. He was further back. None of that really makes sense. But we are creating a bit more. We are coming into the game. I'm going to encourage the boys because there's not a lot of confidence going forward. And Ben Parry starting to become a concern out there. As Puarte's cross is poor again. He's had so many assists this season but not got his delivery right this time. Parry's shot is blocked. Simpson can't win it. And Mackie brings it away to Williams. Goes for the thunderous strike himself. And if all else fails, just hit it from distance and hope. That time, no, it just beat the woodwork. 10 to the break, we yet to have a shot on target. And Linfield will be very happy at the minute. As Allen plays the ball back to Bain, the right back. Into Ferrisage, his header's just over. And while I know we're creating more, we've been the better side in open play. They do look like they're a threat on the counter and that we might concede another. So not very happy with his performance at the minute. At half-time, it is 1-0 to Linfield. The attendance is big. Everything else is great. Just the performance and result not quite there. Well, we've reached the hour mark and we have had a shot on target according to the stats, but we've created nothing of real note. So I'm going to take off Ben Parry and Maurice Simpson because both of them don't seem to have the mentality for this game. Varma will come on, as will Lafferty. It's a big decision up front, I'm aware. I've also got Williams playing pretty poorly at left back, so he'll be replaced by Curtis Bell. And then Lennon in the number 10 role will be off for Morgan Griffiths. He's motivated, he's scored big goals before, but we really need a delivery today. For all of our territory, we have not really looked like scoring in this game. With 20 to go, we encourage the lads. Neil Daly now struggling in the holding role. So let's bring on Tom Robinson. The final roll of the dice is not a stronger team than we started with, but can we nick a point? A 1-1 draw, just as it was to win the title last year, becomes a very good result in this game. We're going to encourage. We've got the corner kick, and with 5 to go, it's Puarte to deliver. Mackenzie loses out in the air, but it falls for Robinson, the final sub. Deflects it across to Lafferty, and he poaches in a way that the Maurice Simpson would be happy with. Very proud of that one. He gets in between goalkeeper and defender, and with 4 minutes to go, it is 1-1, and that might be a crucial goal. Not a thrilling display, not the best going forward, but we might have nicked ourselves a point here. As Reed goes for the big switch to Curtis Bell, has support going forward, just carries it himself to Varma. He gets to the byline. Imagine we nick a win. Varma's cross is cleared, and Martin flicks it on, but Robinson's up to Griffiths. Varma into Lafferty. Oh, the offside flag is up. That would have been very special, but it isn't quite to be, as Reed gets it wide to Puarte. Tell you what, we've done more in the 4 minutes of stoppage time than arguably the other 90 minutes, as Webber's got it in goal for Linfield. Do not cost us the game now. Do not let them nick one in the 94th. Oh, Mackenzie's lost his header. Goss clears away. Ferrisage back for Thompson. Griffiths nicks it. It's a free kick. Do you know what? I don't mind that. 30 seconds to go. We've dropped to balanced, and I just hope that it'll be enough now. McClellan taking his time. Do you know what? If they're happy with a point, I'm pretty happy with a point as well. It keeps us in control of the title race. It's one of those big 7 games against the top 2 ticked off, and we're not any worse off for it. As Ferrisage gets in behind on the left. 2 seconds to go. Stewart will cross. There's no time. It's a 1-1 draw, and in the context, it felt a bit like a victory. A really good result. A good performance again. We certainly weren't beaten on the pitch over 90 minutes. But we did manage to get that result late on. And that point, I think, is going to be crucial. certainly keeps us well in control of the race for the top two and keeps us in distance of Linfield with those games in hand. Let's go and have a look at the schedule for when we're next going to be back. And I've got a little feeling that Linfield might feature again. Well, I think that game sums up why we sign players with the quality of Dermot Lafferty for our squad this year. And to be fair, he's probably pushing for a starting spot on the left wing now. Probably also a record home league attendance for us, that over 4,000 in for the Linfield game. And although we've got big games coming up, I'd love to show you full Kirk, but I can't do it. Deadline day and that, it's going to be a hectic period. We've got so many games to squeeze in. The squad is going to be tested, but ultimately, they're mostly friendly fixtures in the league. We are going to be back in about a month's time. It is Linfield again. This time, it is the League Cup final. It is a chance to make it a domestic double. It is a chance to keep proving our worth. And based on how close together the fixtures are, what we might do is play that one, skip Ballina Millard, and then play Larne away, because they're going to be the decisive games. We've then got the return of Europe in mid-March. I'm sure the Linfield game will get rearranged there. But it is going to be a big blockbuster end to the season. So many trophies up for grabs, so many close battles in the league to come. And of course, European football is the be-all and end-all of this save. So if you're looking forward to all of it, as we've got the All-Ireland Derby in the international form as well, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you thought of those performances, that late point against Linfield. Does it keep us in the title race, or is it going to be second we have to settle for? Ultimately, either are very good from what we thought at the start of the season. If you want to stay up to date and find out which it is, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back here in a couple of days' time after a big summer in the head coach. Come back tomorrow to see if we've changed jobs, if we've got a big transfer special, or what on earth might be going on there. In the meantime, you can also find links in the eye above to the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and the blog story as well. Do check out Factor 75 if you're in the US, the new sponsor down in the description below. And thank you very much for watching as always. Your support is massively appreciated. I'll see you back here next time for another cup final, this time against Linfield.